On today's episode of the Bolt Crew podcast, it's game day. The 8-4 Chargers host the 8-4 Philadelphia Eagles. We'll take a look at what the defending Super Bowl champs bring to Los Angeles, and we'll give you our answers and concerns on how to beat the Eagles. Plus, we'll take your questions and comments and give our predictions as well on what we expect to see today. This is game one of the show because, look, we're doing two shows today. We got a game one before the show, and we got a game two after the show. Make sure you check in for both shows today. Pre-games now, we do the show, and then we do the post-game. Make sure you're here all day for the Bolt Crew podcast. Episode 1 starts right now. Hard to have success when you got guys coming in your face all day.
Hey, yeah, hey, it's the Bolt Crew, and we always winning. Hey, go against us, I don't recommend it. Hey, it's the Bolt Crew, best up in the business. It's the Bolt Crew, repping for the city. Macking on and off the field like Khalil. They hate on us cause we keep it too real. I'm talking smack like Phil Rivers in the field. Oh, you mad again cause we kept it real? Why you mad? Hey, I'm talking smack, I feel like Uncle Dave. Hey, I bring the pain, I feel like Derwin James. I could run and gun, I feel like Herbo down the lane. I feel like LT the way I'm stiff arming these lanes. We just wanna win, we just wanna win, yeah. Ay, we just wanna win, we just wanna win, ay. Putting on for the city, putting on for the city. We just wanna win, we just wanna win, yeah.
Welcome to the Bolt Crew podcast. Dave Palais, Josh Palais, and Mario Heron getting ready for today's big game as the Chargers host the Philadelphia Eagles. Game day, man, I'm always excited. And we always talk about primetime games. And really, when you look at the Monday night game, it's the one game of the week we say all the time that everybody's watching. Because what happens is guys go into the facility that played yesterday, they get their treatment, and then they go home because Tuesday's an off day. What are they going to do? They're going to watch Monday Night Football. You have two really good teams, meaning two teams that are both 8-4, two teams supposed to make the postseason. One's the defending champs. One's in market number 2 in the Los Angeles Chargers to get things going tonight. This should be an outstanding game as you have big-time coaches, big-time players, and you're going to have big-time announcers. This is the focal point right here in Los Angeles as the Chargers host the Eagles. Guys, I'm as excited for this game as any game all season.
I can't wait, man. And we talk about this a lot on the show, how national media doesn't give the Chargers a fair shake, especially when they play teams like the Eagles or teams that have a lot of notoriety and say, hey, this is just the little Chargers over here. They have a quarterback, hasn't won a playoff game. We can forget about them. Tonight's game, to me, Mario, feels more 50-50 than ever. Going into this game, when we looked at the schedule, we're picking wins and losses. We're saying that's probably going to be a loss, right? You got the champs coming to your place, primetime game. Chargers have struggled in primetime. Well, that hasn't been the case this year. Chargers have actually played really well on primetime, and the Eagles, who seem to play on primetime every other week, haven't looked great, man. The offense has definitely been a problem for them. Chargers defense is ranked in the top 3. This game, to me, Mario, is more 50-50 than I ever thought it would be.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it is a 50-50 game. It is a game that means a lot for both teams, right? You have the Eagles that can separate themselves in their division with the Cowboys losing this past week. You have the Chargers where our nemesis Chiefs lost again, and now they have a 12% chance of making the playoffs. We're trying to catch Denver and also solidify ourselves in that wildcard position in the AFC. Both of these teams are, I wouldn't say backs against the wall, but it's close to it, and they're going to be swinging all night long. Eagles also have had a tough stretch a couple of weeks, and they're trying to get back into that win column. And Chargers right now are trying to survive and are just trying to get to the postseason where anything can happen. It's going to be a great game. Like you said, Dave, I'm very, very excited to see what team shows up. Are we going to see this dominant team that rocked the Vikings, or are we going to see a team that fell apart against Jacksonville? What are we going to see? Because like you said, in this prime time, in this national stage, a lot gets said about you, and the narrative can drastically change for the better or for worse in these moments.
Yeah, absolutely. So here it is that you have Philadelphia where, they're playing, I think fan base would say we're playing a lot worse than we thought we were going to play this year, right? You have 4 losses. And at the same time, they've had losses that you sit there and you scratch your head and go, that doesn't look like a championship team. We talk about how hard it is to get back to the Super Bowl and win again. I mean, you look at the Chiefs who have dominated, for the last 6-7 years in this league, and the Chiefs are now thinking, hell, is our season over? Well, the Philadelphia Eagles, with all the talent they had, and we always praise their front office, and we talk about, the young guys and guys that know how to win, maybe that's overrated because whether it's distractions or it's guys that, are looking at it, it's a situation of I want to get mine because I already took care of the team. Don't know. All I know is they don't look like a very good football team, meaning a championship team at this moment, trying to win the division again, trying to get back to the Super Bowl, trying to be the dominating team in the NFC. It seems like there's so much talent in the NFC. Philadelphia definitely, as we talked on December 8th, and today's the game and the season's getting short, Philadelphia needs to figure it out. Like, you want to play your best football heading into the postseason. They know they need to figure it out. That fan base, as we spoke about last week, is not an easy fan base to appease. If you look at social media, there are tons of people that have come in town from Philadelphia that are sitting there filling up LA. There's green all over the place, and they're doing their Instagram videos and everything else. That's fine. But you got to win that football game. And I think the Chargers, Josh, as far as falling back and playing a game like they did against Jacksonville, I don't think it happens at home in prime time today. I think Hampton comes back. That gives you a little bit of a boost. Justin Herbert, we know he had surgery last week at this time. What's Justin Herbert going to look like? We discussed, is he going to run the ball when he needs to run the ball? What does this team look like? This is a big test for the Los Angeles Chargers, meaning not only do you need this win, but what does it look going forward for this team? Because the schedule is extremely tough the rest of the way.
If we were doing an Eagles podcast, the talking point would be you need to hit Justin Herbert early and often, right? Because he has a broken left hand. I mean, how often is Justin Herbert going to leave the pocket tonight, try to pick up extra yards to get a first down? That's something I'm definitely going to be watching for. We talked about on the last show. I don't even know if he tries to do that at all in this game. He's going to try to get down early and not take extra hits, which I believe is the right thing. Jalen Carter's not playing this game. He's one of the best defensive linemen in the NFL. But they also have internal issues with A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts and all that saga that's been going on. I found a couple quick notes about the Chargers that I thought was interesting, specifically on their defense. Chargers haven't allowed a receiver over 65 yards since week 8. So you go against one of the top receivers in the NFL and A.J. Brown. Devontae Smith is also one of the top receivers in the league as well, but not giving up over 65 yards since week 8 is amazing by our defense. The Chargers have also ran the most two high safety since week 8 in the NFL. The Chargers running a lot of two high safety. Jalen Hurts struggles with two high safety defense. Jalen Hurts does most of his damage against one high safety, and leaving the pocket and throwing on the run is something he likes to do as well. You got to contain Jalen Hurts. The player on the offense that concerns me the most, Mario, is not Jalen Hurts. It's not A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. It's still Saquon Barkley to me, because if you have an offensive line that can push you around like the Eagles do have the ability to do, they've struggled this year, but they still can do that. Saquon Barkley can run for a lot of yards. And if the Eagles can control the line of scrimmage, they're going to be in trouble, because the Chargers know if they get into a 3rd-and-1, 3rd-and-2 situation on defense, the Eagles are most likely going to get it because they're so good at running the tush push and getting those extra yards.
Yeah, that was something we talked about last week. That was a big worrisome thing for me, is this cannot be a Barkley comeback game. This cannot be the moment where everyone on Twitter goes, oh, yeah, there's the guy that should have been MVP last season in Saquon. That can't start tonight against the Los Angeles Chargers. Instead, I would like that about Omarion Hampton, with him being back and going, hey, this is the offensive rookie of the year. This is one of the best weapons we've ever seen. This is the guy that should have been drafted over Gentry. I want that conversation started tonight, Dave. And look, with the way the Eagles defense has been playing, you can own the trenches against these guys, especially like you said, Josh, with Jalen Carter out. There is moments, there is ways that you can dominate them on the ground. And Greg Roman, that's what you're known for, pal. Jim Harbaugh, that's what you're known for. Let's see it tonight. Let's freaking see it. Get us excited and send a message to the rest of the league and dominate the trenches that you promised you would 2 years ago when you took over for this job.
See, what I want to see is if Hampton's back and he is, let's say 100%. I mean, I assume the Chargers held him out the week before because he wasn't all the way there, because we'd heard he was going to come back the previous week. If Hampton's 100%, this is the time. Let's see what's in the bag of tricks, meaning, and I'm not talking trick plays. I'm saying, let's see what this offensive book looks like. Is it a pamphlet, or is this a real playbook? Like, let's see what we have here. We all know that every NFL team scripts the first 15 plays. Okay, if I was the one that was sitting there scripting the first 15 plays, guess what? Every receiver would touch that ball somewhere in those 15 plays. I'm not going back to the same guy. I'm making it so the rest of the game you're thinking everybody's a weapon. And this team does have weapons. I mean, for years we did this show and there was very few choices you had to make things work. You have 2 running backs to make it work. You have a solid tight end to make it work. You have various wide receivers to make it work. Everyone is touching that ball somewhere in those first 15 plays, because I think it sets the tone the rest of the way. If it's the same stuff, like we play like we're trying to do it with smoke and mirrors, that's not going to play in the long run. You got to show that you have the weapons. Let's use them all the way from QJ to Trey Harris to Marion Hampton to Vidal. All of them, they got to do something at the beginning. You got to keep the defense guessing. That's the key to having success on what you're going to do to move the ball down the field and score points.
I think the decision of sitting Amari Hampton was ultimately the right decision because you played a Raiders team last week that you should beat. You have the bye week. Why don't you give him some extra time? He's a rookie. He's really the only top running back we have. Kamani Vidal has been fantastic as a backup running back. I'm really curious, Mario, to see how many touches he gets tonight. I looked at the props for Amari Hampton, what other people think he's projected for tonight's game. I found about 40 rushing yards, 20 receiving yards, and 11 carries. I think I'm hitting on all those. I think Lamar Hampton's going to be heavy in the game plan tonight because you did sit him out so he could be healthier than ever going into this stretch these games down the stretch where you're playing really good teams. You're going to need Omari Hampton. Jim Harbaugh only has one loss when the Chargers run the ball 25 times or more. I would imagine Amari Hampton's going to get 15 of those 25 carries if that's what they end up doing tonight. I don't know how you can justify not using Amari Hampton when you have this running back on your team that's one of the best in the league. Before he got hurt, I thought he was looking like he could be, offensive rookie of the year. That's how good I think Amari Hampton is. You need him. You need to run him tonight. You can't ditch the run, especially with Justin Herbert having a broken left hand. If he's sitting back there, Mario throwing the ball 45 times against this Eagles defense, is probably going to be a loss.
It would be. And, you mentioned those attempts at sports books. FanDuel has that at minus 22 versus the under at minus 108. So people are expecting that to go over. The Vegas is telling you that there's a lean on him getting over 10 attempts tonight on the ground. When it comes to Herbert, yes, I don't want him dropping back that much in this game, but I want Jalen Hurts dropping back that much in this game because that means if that happens, the Chargers jumped out early and got a lead. That has to be so important tonight. They have to come out swinging first. They have to come out ready to fight Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev, and he's just swinging like he's got nothing else to lose. Like it's got to be that type of game tonight and that type of moment. You can't let the game come to you. And if the Chargers can't do that, they will win this game. And like you said, there's probably going to be a lot of Eagles fans there tonight, Dave. I don't doubt it. A lot of guys saying water wrong. That's probably going to happen. But very quickly, those cheers turn to boos and maybe some eggs on the field. So let's get those fans pissed off in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. So look, if you're the Chargers and you're focusing your defense on how you're going to stop this Eagles offense, for me I want to see Jalen have to throw the ball, right? I want to see Jalen throw the ball. I'm basically, I think, changing things up where I'm putting a lot of pressure up at the beginning, almost like you're sitting there saying, I'm going to try and stop the run at all times, because if you've watched Jalen the last few weeks, Jalen hasn't played his best football as a passing quarterback. He hasn't been extremely accurate. Actually, he's been anything but. And I don't know what's going on, but something's off. Just like, Lamar Jackson, something's off. There's something off on Jalen in his passing game right now, and he hasn't looked accurate. I make Jalen throw the ball. If you're going to beat the Chargers on defense, you make Jalen throw the ball. And I think there are interceptions there to be had. I think there are incomplete passes there to be had. But I could see a situation where the Eagles don't score the points, don't move the ball the way they're used to, just for the fact that I don't think Jalen can beat you with his arm. I just don't right now. And there are times where I'm going, man, Jalen looks like a very good, accurate passer. He's in a mode the last few weeks. He doesn't look that way to me.
Yeah, I mean, typically the quarterback who throws more is the quarterback that loses, right? Because if you're behind, you're going to throw the ball more. But I'm 100% with you guys. If Jalen Hurts is throwing the ball 40 times tonight, it's not a good thing for the Eagles. I can imagine their goal for tonight's game, Mario, is to run the ball 30 plus times. I mean, why would you not if you're the Eagles? Why wouldn't you run the hell out of Saquon, run Jalen? I mean, Dave made a great point. If you were to do the tush push on first down when nobody's expecting, you get 4 yards right there just to start the game. I think it's a great plan by the Eagles. Thank you. Don't listen to me, though, because I want the Chargers to win. I'm just curious to see how much they run the football. If you think the key to success as an Eagles fan is to get the ball to A.J. Brown, I would disagree. It seems like the games where A.J. Brown goes off are the games that they don't win. And when Jalen spreads the ball around, they do better. So I'm curious to see how Jalen does it. I mean, I give Jalen a lot of credit for not giving in to A.J. Brown and saying, hey, I'm scared of you. I'm going to give you the ball as much as I can because you're grilling me to the public. No, Jalen's a winner. He wants to do what he can to win the football game. And if it's throwing the ball to A.J. Brown twice tonight and that's how they get the most points, that's what he's going to do.
It's kind of interesting when you look at both teams kind of want to do the same thing tonight. They want to dominate the run. Your Eagles were saying you go in there, you want Barkley to cook. We're saying if you get in there, you want Vidal and Hampton to cook in this one. So if you like the over-under, it's 41.5. I would probably take the under because I think both teams want to slow it down. I also think in the Eagles going to throwing the ball, going to Jalen Hurts, wanting to air it out, or us forcing them to. That gives our biggest strength of our defense, our pass rush, to get home. That gives Mac Tooley and Double L a chance to really light up Jalen Hurts that doesn't have his guys up there up front. So I think that's going to be massive for this game, Dave. Someone commented this. I don't know who it was because I got scrolled past, but they asked, is this a must win? And Dave, I think absolutely no questions asked. This is a must win because I think every game is before we head to the playoffs.
You're absolutely right. I mean, you look at what's going on right now and you look at the NFL standings, their team's getting hot, right? I mean, that game coming up at the end of the month with the Texans, where I think Josh and I were talking about it because we bought the ticket so long ago. Is that game going to mean anything? Are we going to see anything there? Well, that game right now is shaping up where that's a flex game, right? That looks like it could be a Sunday night game. All of a sudden, that Texans-Charger game and how important that game is going to be. You look at what happened to the Colts with Daniel Jones. All of a sudden, he's out, but yet the Colts hold the tiebreaker over the Chargers for right now. I think the Colts are going to continue to fall the rest of the month, and things are going to happen for them. But basically, we need this win, and I say we as the Chargers, of course. We need this win not only tonight. We need to basically try and pull every one of these games out the rest of the way. It feels like must win, even though you're 8-4. You look at the remaining games on the schedule, and you're like, none of them are easy. All of them are going to be tough. They're all going to be competitive. But at the same time, I think it gets this team ready for the postseason that much more, of saying, okay, this is what it's at. This is what it is in postseason. It's do or die. Your mindset's been at this level of play. It's not like you have to turn it on. So, you go with the Eagles, you're at the Chiefs the following week, at the Cowboys, Texans at home, and then the Broncos on the road. So only 2 home games remaining, including tonight. You got to take care of business. And you say, well, it's a home game. Here's the deal. You sleep in your own bed. You don't get on an airplane for this game. Look, it would not surprise me if SoFi Stadium is packed in green. It's just what Philadelphia fans do. They're miserable. All right. They're like, the 1 week out of the year, we aren't going to be miserable. We're going to go hang out in Santa Monica during the day and pull out our shorts and T-shirts again that we haven't seen in 4 months. And we're going to act like it's good weather, and we're going to enjoy the time, and we're going to spend a ton of money. And maybe my kids aren't going to get the Christmas because they thought they were going to get, because mom and dad had to get away from the East Coast. They're going to be there. So what? Chargers are used to this facility. They're used to their locker room. They don't have to get on a plane. They get an extra day of practice. Let's go out there and kick some ass tonight.
The way the schedule shakes out is difficult, as we've mentioned. But yesterday's games, did you guys take that as a positive, a negative? Because when the Chiefs play the Texans and then you got the Ravens play the Steelers, it's kind of like you win and you also lose, because these teams are right with you. So the team that wins, obviously, they get an advantage on the Chargers. Teams that lose, like the Ravens and the Chiefs, they fall down in the standings. I looked at the Texans win as a good thing for the Chargers. I think the Texans were going to win that game anyway, but the Chiefs, to me, are out of it. I mean, that's a team that looks lifeless. You dropped 8 balls yesterday. That they just do not look good at all. The Ravens, to me, they kind of look lifeless as well. Lamar Jackson is not the same player this year. There's something going on with him. I like the way that it shook out yesterday, and we never root for injuries on this show, but Daniel Jones going down with the Achilles, that is a good thing for the Chargers. Once again, not rooting for that, but that is a good thing for the Chargers, because now the Colts need to rely on a backup quarterback the rest of the way, and they are right there with the Chargers in the standings.
Colts remainder schedule of the season: at Seattle, tough one. At home against the Niners, brutal. Hosting Jacksonville, that could literally be for the AFC South title. At Houston, again, could be for the AFC South title. It's only going to get worse for Indianapolis. You have Riley Leonard at QB. That guy sucks. He's terrible. Yep. The only other option you have is probably like Trevor Siemian, I think, is the other guy you can probably pop in there. Other than that, it's pretty much Jonathan Taylor playing quarterback for you. The Texans, they still look incredible. Bills, I mean, I think the biggest worrisome for me yesterday, Dave, was that Josh Allen still did his magic. I mean, the Bills were down 2 scores midway through the fourth quarter, and they won that game. And yes, it was partially because one was a pick six, but Josh Allen still made stuff happen that probably no other QB in the NFL can make happen. And if they're in a dance and we got to face them, I'm really scared of that outcome. Of that outcome, and I'm really want Pittsburgh to stay up there, because Aaron Rodgers at this age with that team in the playoffs, please and thank you.
So We did our kind of our power rankings a week ago, and looking at it, I had listed my top 5 best teams in the NFL, and I picked all NFC teams. I'm still not sold on a bunch of these AFC teams, which again I think bodes well for what the Chargers need to do, which is probably win playoff games on the road all the way through to get to the Super Bowl. And then once you get to the Super Bowl, anything can happen, right? The Daniel Jones injury, the Achilles that went. Someone wrote early in the show, and I apologize for not mentioning your name. What do you think about? Have you seen so many Achilles injuries just in sports? I mean, we've seen so many in basketball, and we've seen them now in football. And it's always a fear of mine, which is, I'm not playing pro sports, but just as an adult, you always hear after 40, it goes all the time. I have tons of friends who have blown out their Achilles just getting out of bed or playing pickup basketball. The thing is, if you tear it, you want to tear your left one because your right one's your driving foot. Does that make any sense to you? Like, dude, you not only are you not walking or playing sports, you aren't driving. You can't. You ever try and drive a lefty, just kind of F around? It's ridiculous. All of a sudden you got the heavy foot. You can't even brake. You don't even know what you're doing. It's so dangerous to switch up and go lefty. You aren't driving. So if you're the Colts, I mean, of course, it's unfortunate for us. We faced the Colts when Daniel Jones was healthy. I mean, honestly, the Colts look great against the Chargers. I wish we were playing the Colts with, in the last month of the season to get that win. I wish we were playing the goddamn Commanders. But yet we got embarrassed by both those teams. So here's the deal. Poor Daniel Jones, poor Indianapolis. Tyrese Halliburton's like, come talk to me. It's awful. It just goes around. So I can't explain the Achilles tendon injury. As Josh said, we don't root for injuries, but hey, look, Josh wasn't the one that caused it. I didn't cause it. Mario didn't cause it. So it happened. And if it benefits us, it benefits us.
Do you believe, I'm going to go right back to you, Dave. Do you believe the Chiefs are done? Season over? What do you think?
Dude, I'm so afraid to say it. Like, I won't believe it till I see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Until I see that, whatever that asterisk it is in the standings next to it, that they've been eliminated, I don't want to jinx it. Like, I hate the Kansas City Chiefs like you wouldn't believe. It's funny. Mario and I were talking about this last week. There are teams in the NFL that you go, I don't like that team. But true hatred for a team in the NFL, I don't have a lot of them. But Mario and I were talking how we hate like almost every team in the NBA. like I hate the Pelicans. You know what I mean? For what reason? I just hate the goddamn Pelicans. I hate the Utah Jazz. The NFL, I almost
Bucks can eat one too.
Which one?
Bucks can eat one.
Oh yeah, F the Bucks. And at the same, like, I don't know what. I'll give you an example. In my mindset, Josh, how dumb it works in sports. Milwaukee's such a rat hole of a city. It just run down. Like there hasn't been a new construction in that city since like 1942. But they got a really nice basketball arena. I'm like, how did the taxpayers approve that? Like, the whole city is a dump. It still looks like the beginning of the TV show Laverne and Shirley, for anyone who's old enough to remember that. I was there this summer. I saw it. The whole city's a goddamn dump. It's depressing as hell. And the fact that Milwaukee has a great facility, I don't know. I hate the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm with Mario. It's a dump. I don't like the accent. Don't like anything about it. I can find.
How did this turn into the Milwaukee Bucks podcast again?
Because I'm going to tell you right now, I hate the Kansas City Chiefs. I hate the Chiefs. Okay. And there are a lot of teams in the NFL. I don't think about the Jags. I don't think about the Texans. I don't think about the Titans, any of those teams. But, man, I hate the Kansas City Chiefs, and I don't want to jinx it and tell you their season's over right now.
Dude, I watched that game yesterday, and I'm like, this is not the Kansas City Chiefs. These are fakes. These are guys that are just wearing the Kansas City Chief uniforms. Dude, they were so bad, and they've looked so bad the whole season. I'm not going to say they're out of it, but seriously, if the Chargers can put them out of their misery next week, which I totally expect the Chargers to do. I'm not going to bet on it, but I think the Chargers definitely can do that. Nothing would make me happier, Mario.
Look, they're down both their tackles, and then in the first quarter, their backup tackle, I think it was their left one, got hurt. And then twice yesterday, it's 3rd and 16 for the Texans, and you go, all right, well, just get the punt unit out there already, then they convert. There's just mistakes that the Chiefs and stuff that's happening to them. They've never seen it. Travis Kelce is not even 2% of what he used to be. I mean, it is way off. I'm not burying them, but the Athletic has them as 12% to make the playoffs. I saw, they have at 14%. ESPN them at 12. Whatever it is, it's low. It's very, very low. That's the same percentage I have, Dave, of DMing Sydney Sweeney and getting a little response back. So I guess we're both begging for some action.
Are you willing to say, Josh, the season's over for the Chiefs? Like, you aren't even thinking about them?
I'm not willing to say it's over, but if they have one more loss, I really think it's over. Like, Chargers, if they win tonight, I would say it's probably over because they're going to put them out of contention, really. But if the Chargers beat them next week, I think they really are out of it. My goal for the Chargers, I don't know how other fans feel about these next 2 games, is you got to go 1-1. You cannot go 0-2. If you go 2-0, that's phenomenal, obviously. But I'm really looking at these next 2 games with the Chiefs and the Eagles as you got to win one. You have to win one, Mario.
You have to. I mean, in the perfect world, they win. The Chargers win out. That's the perfect world, but that's probably not.
In the perfect world, you're married to Sydney Sweeney too, but we don't live in perfect worlds.
We don't live in perfect worlds. Exactly. What are you gonna do?
All right, Mario, here we go. Here's a random question, all right? Just because I'm in the middle of a show and it came up, Josh and I were kind of threw it around. Let's say you were married to Sydney Sweeney, okay? We're going to put you in that world.
All
she has to go to work, okay?
Okay.
And you know she has a scene she has to make out with some guy. You okay with it?
Dude, I think about this every movie I watch. Every movie, if I still have an ex-girlfriend that listens to this show, I probably don't. But if they do, they'd be like, he's asked me that before every time. I would not be able to do that. I would handle that so unbelievably poorly. It's insane.
But would you break up with her because of it? Or would you sit there? What would you do?
Dude, I don't know what I would do. I wouldn't break up with her. I wouldn't do that. I'm not that shallow. But like, I would not be able to watch it. Like at the
Josh and I would give you a hard time all the time.
Oh, dude, you guys, my friends, anytime in an argument, they would just send that scene. They're like, "Hey, Heron," and like I know that's really mean to do, but like that's exactly what they would do. Because if I was in an argument and I had back against the wall, I gotta win the argument. That's in the back pocket.
Dude, I tell you right now, if you married Sydney Sweeney your first birthday, I'd mail you a cuck chair.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I would not be able to do that at all. I don't have that type of confidence. I would handle that so. And like, could you imagine the premiere? Like, you're sitting next to like the co-star, and there's a sex scene, and he's just like, yeah, it's pretty good. He's like, obviously they're not actually, but yeah.
Oh God, yeah, I couldn't do it either. We're on a little bit of a time crunch because Dave has a show with former Baywatch star Nicole Eggert after this. That's actually not a joke. It's true.
It's true.
So we're going to get to these. Yeah, boom. He does that. We're going to get to these comments. Here we go. First one. My bad, Mario. Sorry. TMAJC 100 pesos. He says $5.48 for Dave. Relax. Bet. One question. One receiver for each team to score tonight. Running backs don't pay well. I am thinking Keenan and Devontae Smith. What are your thoughts? You go first, Mar. You're the betting guy.
Yeah.
Because of how big he is and how kind of shorter our guys are and the physicality, I'd actually take AJ Brown and Keenan. So I like where your head's at, T-Mac. If I can call you that, because I don't really know what else your name is. I would take AJ Brown and I would take Keenan Allen with that one. Devontae Smith, I don't know if it's going to get loose tonight.
Does it pay? Let me ask you, does it pay to focus on AJ Brown? I mean, as you said, when AJ Brown gets his numbers, the Eagles lose.
This season, I mean, in the past, that's hasn't been the case. I am gonna go Devontae Smith for what you just said right there because he's played well. AJ Brown and they haven't won, and I know Jalen wants to win, obviously. And Devontae Smith, his entire career going back to Alabama, has played well traditionally in primetime games.
Yep.
I'm gonna go Devontae Smith, and I'm also gonna go Keenan Allen. I really like Keenan to score tonight.
Yeah, I think you're safest there. I think that's probably the safest.
He's plus 350.
I'm gonna throw this out here. Just if you randomly have money to throw around, if you have pesos to throw around, as you effed us over right there, is to sit there and go both tight ends to score on both teams.
Dude, that's a great play. I think Dallas Goedert is definitely the number 2 option behind one of those receivers tonight. That's the way I look at it.
That'd be a huge payday, by the way, because Goddard himself is like plus 310. Gadsden's plus 350.
Gadsden hasn't scored in like 4 weeks, I think. I'd love to see him score tonight. Lupus 9746 says, should I start Hampton or Barkley in fantasy PPR league tonight? What do you think, Dave?
I would go Barkley. I don't know what they're going to do with Hampton. I would go Barkley. I don't know. Be honest with you, I got to see it for one game to see what Hampton is.
100% with Dave. I would go Saquon Barkley. I'm always scared in fantasy of starting the guy that's coming back from IR in his first game, unless you're Bucky Irving and you go off against my team. But anyways, I'd go Saquon Barkley.
I'd go Barkley as well. Hampton, so you have to worry about. Vidal's been playing so well that I don't know if they really want to shoulder all that load on Hampton.
Pause. Good Lord.
Didn't mean to do that one.
All right. AK 199 says, I have something. All right, AK, what's going on here? I have something special for Mario. Okay, here we go. Follows it up with 499. But first, bold prediction: defense rises up against to keep the Eagles in the cage. 5 sacks, 3 by Tooley. Derwin James has an interception, and they will not even get 20 points. Let's go. So he thinks Chargers shut it down.
I love that. That's a lot.
There was a bird trapped in the jewel next to my apartment today. So maybe that's a sign, AK.
I like that, AK.
He has another comment right here. 999 says, player of the game, you cannot stop me or hold me, my baby. Lad, 136 yards, 3 touchdowns. Chargers beat their ass, 34-17. Take your ass back to Philly with Mario. Thanks for the rent. Laugh my ass off.
What?
AK, if the Chargers win 34-17, I'll live in Philly for 6 months.
Oh, ooh. No.
199 says Herbert will take off. Don't fool yourself. So AK thinks Herbert's going to run, even though he has a broken left hand. We'll see. I don't think he's going to do it much.
Okay, Herbert's not a media chaser, right? He's anything but, right? He's not that guy. I mean, it's rare to see him at a Laker game all of a sudden with Madison Beer. Like, we didn't see him for years. All of a sudden, he's out in public. But that's the kind of stuff right there that announcers love. Right? Primetime TV, all of a sudden you see Herbert running for 17 yards, putting his hand at risk. I mean, they're going to freak out. If Collinsworth was doing this game, he would faint. Like, he that's the kind of thing you just love, right?
Has anybody checked on Chris Collinsworth after doing Mahomes' game last night and them not winning? Is he doing okay today?
I don't think so.
He's probably not
shut
doing
down.
Huh?
I almost said something I shouldn't say. All right. That's saying a lot.
AV Crowns 199 says, will Herbert's hand affect him with his handoffs? See, that's a great question right there. I don't know the answer. Obviously, we know none of us really know the answer. I can imagine they have something that's more flexible material than what he had the other day when they just had to tape it up or cast it up, whatever it was. You cannot have something on your hand, Mario, where you literally can't grip your ball. So I can imagine there's something a little bit more flexible for him tonight.
You could save that one, Mario.
Nah, don't do that.
So here's the deal. I mean, come on, let's be honest. We saw it in the very first play that Herbert got hurt last time, right? And he came back with that guy named Jamie Lannister cast on his hand. Is they screwed up the play. They did a front handoff left side, and it was a disaster. So you got to think, what's the best way to get the ball? All handoffs have to be with the right hand, not the left hand, for this to work. All of them.
Well, if you can't do that, then you just take you out one side of the field on all runs.
Well, not exactly. It depends how you turn. You know what I'm saying?
But he's in shotgun a lot of the time.
Yeah,
I don't even think he's going to go under center with his broken hand. Or how often will he go under center? That's a good point.
I wouldn't go under center with a broken hand. You're absolutely right.
I think he could definitely get the ball in shotgun, hold it with 2 hands. Right? He doesn't have to hold it with 1 hand. That's not a thing.
Yeah. Doug says here. Doug says on the side here. He goes, they numbed his hand. Look, you can't numb his hand. You know. You can't numbing his hands, and look. He might not
heard this thing before.
Feel it. You know how hard it is to take a snap with a hand you can't feel.
Yeah.
Hello, stranger.
Yeah. Hello, stranger. I've heard of this before. That's not good.
Heyo.
All right, we're gonna get to this comment last. B. Hannon. This is gonna be the rant for all of us. Next one's from AK. Says 199. AK said it. Chiefs. Or AK said it. Ravens and Chiefs are done. Stop it, please. I think he's talking directly to you, Dave.
Dude, I don't even know what to say. AK, you're gutting profit some of the times. The way you've gone after the Ravens the entire year and the way this thing has worked out, I have no argument. The Ravens look absolutely terrible. Lamar Jackson looks like one of the worst players in the NFL. Looks absolutely terrible. All the way around. Like his legs and hands don't work.
And his brain.
It's a football version of Space Jam. It's insane watching Lamar Jackson.
His decision making's off. That's the thing that, like, I understand if you can't run. But, dude, like, he's throwing the ball, like, in a triple coverage. I'm like, what the hell's going on with Lamar Jackson? All right. Are you guys ready for this conversation?
Yeah, let's do it.
Never been more excited.
All right. $2 from B. Hannon's thoughts on the college football playoff. Mario wanted to talk about this to end the show, so the floor is yours.
I mean, so obviously you guys are Bama fans. So you've got the Bama in me a little bit. So I will say there's some bias here. But the whole Notre Dame bitching and whining. The one thing I will give you an exception for, it is absolutely bullcrap. It's stupid that the committee led you on to believe that you'll jump Miami, you'll be in the playoffs, and they did all that until the last second. That sucks. That being said, join an effing conference and shut the hell up. That is simple as that. If you're in the ACC and you had that early loss to Miami, and then you did what you did the rest of the year, you'd been in the ACC championship, you would have won the ACC, and then you would have been in the college football playoff because you won a Power 5 conference title, and there would be no denying you. And also win games on your schedule. That's the two ways to get into to playoffs. You didn't beat A&M. You didn't beat Miami. Those were your two hardest tests. You didn't pass. Now you want to complain. Now you want to bitch. Well, guess what? Last year you got blessed beyond blessed with the easiest route ever to the championship, and you still lost. You still messed that up. Congratulations, you got that. And then this year it doesn't go your way because you don't follow the rules and join a conference and you sit outside of it. Then you complain because the ACC vouched for Miami over you. And you go, well, we're a member of the ACC conference. Well, you're not in football. And the reason why you want to be a member of them is because when they have those meetings in the committee, in the NCAA basketball tournament, and around sports, those ADs come together for the separate conferences and they vouch for each other because that means more money. So you screwed yourself because you're not involved with them and not having more voices in the room. That's on you. That's on no one else. That's on you. You Catholic dumbasses. That's your fault. Because of your NBC contract, because you don't share with anyone, this is your fault. Live with it. Win the games on your schedule. This is a you problem, not anyone else's. Sorry the committee led you on. That sucks. But the reality situation is you didn't beat Miami. You didn't beat A&M. Now you're doing this propaganda bitch tour, crying like the biggest group of babies I've ever seen. Man up, sack up, find the pair of balls I think you still have, and move on to next year. Go in the portal where you have a bunch of billions of dollars because it costs $500,000 to go to your goddamn school and figure it the hell out. I'm so sick of their bitching and their complaining. That's all I got for you. And Bama should get in.
And
they had the
you're
best
in Notre
win.
Dame country right now. You're literally in
Notre
Dame country.
And they can kiss my ass and lick my butthole. Because, listen, Alabama had the best win of the year in Georgia. They did. And they went to the SEC, which is the best conference in the championship game. They got steamrolled because it's the SEC, and you're not going to beat Georgia twice. Georgia was going to go in there and bend them over no matter what. That was going to happen. Like, congratulations. If you bet against that, you're a dumbass. They still belong. They still are better than everyone. And it's not the 12 best teams in college football. We get that. You got to let the little schools eat too. But stop your complaining and just join a conference and this all goes away.
That was outstanding.
That was great. And we have another comment during your rant from Amy, 499, says Mario 100. So she agrees with you. Wow, Notre Dame had to join a conference. Cry harder. No offense, Bama doesn't belong either, but they would be beat by the Power Fives. So, what do you think, Dave? I mean,
okay, here's the deal.
Yeah, let's hear your guys' take.
Okay, mine's not going to be probably as good as Mario's. I'll tell you this right now. Alabama played the third toughest schedule in all of college football. They played real opponents, okay? They played the number 3 team, Georgia, in Athens, and they won. It's the only loss Georgia has the whole year, and they won when healthy. I'm not going to make excuses that Alabama didn't have a running back this weekend or half the team had COVID. All that stuff was out there. So what? Alabama didn't play great. Alabama is favored on the road to beat Oklahoma right now in their playoff game. Look, Vegas is the one that should pick the teams. Vegas is not in the business of losing money. I always say, forget this committee. What would the casinos do? Let the casinos pick the top teams and go ahead and set it out that way. Guess what? Alabama would have been there. Alabama would have been there last year, by the way, when they didn't get in. Notre Dame complaining is a goddamn joke. Their schedule is freaking ridiculous. Notre Dame's schedule is absolutely insane. And I can go on about Alabama beating all these tough teams. I'll let Josh do that. But Notre Dame plays schools like Purdue. They were 2-10. Purdue don't. They're terrible. Boston College, 2-10. Stanford's a joke. They 4-8 Stanford. Andrew Luck trying to fix things there. Navy, what? They couldn't get the Coast Guard on the schedule. What the hell's going on with Notre Dame for years? As I said, join a conference, join the Big Ten or the SEC. Guess what? They will take you tomorrow. Both those conferences will take you tomorrow. Go ahead, join that conference and go ahead and share the money. But as Mario said, every time you made a bowl game, you never had to share the money. And you had your own private deal with the NBC. You haven't done anything since 1988. You've been irrelevant. It's just all the talk of how good you used to be, and you guys patting each other on the back. The movie Rudy is overrated as hell. Most people say they played football that time saying it's BS anyway. The fact his dad's in the stands chanting Rudy, Rudy. Dude, His dad's not going to call his own son Rudy because his last name's Rudy too, with his 18 other kids with the last name Rudy. Okay? Rudiger, you're not calling one kid Rudy. Why does one kid have the goddamn last name nickname? He'd be calling him Daniel. That's what he would have done in the movies. BS. F Rudy. F your goddamn touching your sign, all that stuff. I hope Marcus Freeman leaves because the rumor is that the one reason Notre Dame wasn't going to play in this game, they were they weren't going to have a coach because there's a lot of talk Freeman's going to be offered that Giants job or the Raider job, and we'll see if there's a huge shakeup. But join a conference. You want to be relevant, join a conference, and you're one of the few teams that could pick. You think San Diego State could pick to go to the SEC tomorrow? No, but Notre Dame could pick to join the SEC tomorrow or the Big Ten tomorrow, and both conferences would take those guys hands down. Hands down. But you guys are acting like the little kid in goddamn Big Daddy. What's the name of this game? It's called I Win. You guys want everything. You want everything. F off.
Amy wants to correct her last comment. 199 says, correction, Bama would beat those Power Fives. Notre Dame, bye.
Thank
you guys basically said everything that I could say. I got nothing left to say. I know Dave has to run here soon. They should just join the ACC, though, right? Because that's the easiest path to the playoff. The SEC and the Big Ten is much harder. Just join the ACC. Every other sport at Notre Dame is part of the ACC. Join the ACC and join a conference. I think it makes the most sense.
Dude, I'd rather they don't join the ACC. Honestly, I want them to join a tougher conference. Like that, to me, that's still a shortcut. Join the Big Ten.
I would love that too. It's just not going to happen. They won't even join any conference, let alone the Big Ten.
Going to be a top 6 pick this year for Ohio State. He's awesome. Okay. He started at Alabama, played his last 2 years at Ohio State. Incredible football player. They asked him to compare the two conferences. Nobody would know better than him, who's currently a player in the Big Ten. He said the SEC every single week you're facing dogs. Yeah. And that's why most of those guys are drafted in the NFL more than any other conference. He said the Big Ten, dude, you got your time for your body to heal. You only have to get up for about 3 games a year. That's it. Dude, join a tough conference. You're Notre Dame. Come on.
And just one quick point on top of that, when they were saying today, they're kind of attacking the ACC commissioner, and they're kind of separating themselves from that conference, it feels like, to make that move to the Big Ten. I don't know if they want to go to the Big Ten. Do you want Michigan? Do you want Ohio State? Do you want Indiana now?
You want Oregon?
And do you want Nebraska? And do you want, to face these teams? I think I said Ohio State already, but if I didn't, them too. Do you want to face these guys every single time? The USC just have one of the best recruiting classes they've ever had. Do you want to face this? Is that what you want? Or do you want the ACC? We have a retired NFL head coach that doesn't know what he's doing. And you have to face Duke, Virginia, Clemson that's not even close to be themselves. It's an easier route and an automatic bid to the playoffs. So I don't know if I'd be trashing the conference that you could easily dominate versus going to the Big Ten where I have to face Ryan Day all the time. And I had to face Signetti that's doing a lot with probably half of the talent you have. So I don't know if I want that action if I'm over that Notre Dame, bitching and complaining and saying, ACC, I don't know. You screwing us.
We could do this all day. We could do this all day.
Do this all day.
I'm gonna give 2 players real quick for tonight's game to keep an eye on the Eagles. These are 2 players the Chargers are going to try to attack. So this is my prediction. If you're the Chargers, you got to go after these 2 players. On defense, Eagles' biggest, weakest link by a mile is Adoree Jackson. He's the cornerback, number 8. You can pretty much count on the Chargers to attack him more than any player on the defense. Whichever receiver's lined up in front of him, QJ, Ladd, Keenan, doesn't matter. They're going to go after Adoree Jackson. If the Chargers don't do that, Mario, they're idiots. Greg Roman's an idiot. And then on the offense, you got Fred Johnson. It's not Lane Johnson. Fred Johnson's the right tackle that's filling in for Lane Johnson. The drop-off between Lane Johnson, which is a Hall of Fame player, to Fred Johnson is about 300 feet. So you can pretty much count on Tooley or Mack or Double O getting what they want off of Fred Johnson. They're probably going to try to chip on his side. That would be the smart move. But Fred Johnson on the Eagles defense, weakest link. Adoree Jackson, weakest link on defense. You have to expose those 2 guys, Mario.
Yeah, I'm with you. Make Johnson's a life of living hell today. Make it where they say his name over and over again on the broadcast of him getting exposed. I really like that option a lot. Like you said, attack Jackson. Also, just make this secondary work. And I would try to stay away from Cooper DeJean as much as I can because that guy's a freaking player. So kind of go away from him, attack the other assets they have on that field, and hopefully get a W today. And we don't bitch like we're Notre Dame fans, Dave.
My picks are going to be I'm going Tooley. I'm going AK's route right there. I'm going to go Tooley, and I'm going to go on the offensive side. I'm going to go Gadsden's going to be. I'm going tight end. All right, Gadsden's going to be the guy. I think Chargers win this game again. We're back after the game. So we're excited to do two shows, I should say, in one day as we do the post-game show. Hopefully got that cigar ready to go, talking about a big Charger win, talking about the team being 9-4, meaning the Chargers being 9-4, and moving forward to the rest of the season. But please join us on the post-game. We want your comments as well on what you saw, and we'll break it down together. Hopefully we won't be as angry as we just were for the last 10 minutes, but we're good to go. Thanks again for joining us in the middle of the day, everyone. Please like and subscribe to the show. If you want to leave a comment on this show, we'll get to those on YouTube as well. For Mario Heron, Josh Palais, I'm Dave Palais. We'll see you after the game.
Hey, yeah, hey, it's the boat crew, and we always winning. Hey, go against us, I don't recommend it. Hey, it's the boat crew, best up in the business. It's the boat crew, repping for the city. Macking on and off the field like Khalil. They hate on us cause we keep it too real. I'm talking smack like Phil Rivers in the field. Oh, you mad again cause we kept it real? Why you mad? Hey, I'm talking smack, I feel like Uncle Dave. Hey, I bring the pain, I feel like Derwin James. I could run and gun, I feel like Herbo down the lane. I feel like LT the way I'm stiff arming these lanes. We just wanna win, we just wanna win, yeah. Ay, we just wanna win, we just wanna win, ay. Putting on for the city, putting on for the city. We just wanna win, we just wanna win, yeah.